over 100 years we've been told that jaywalking in the city is dangerous, that it's terrible, it's a bad thing, and the police need to find pedestrians that walk or jaywalk. Um, well, if you think jaywalking, and I use that term in inverted commas, is bad when you're driving, you ought to see it when you're cycling in the city. People just step out in front of you left, right and centre. Is this a bad thing though? Is it dangerous? Do I feel worried? Am I ever concerned I'm going to run someone down? No, not really. Should we do something about it? No. Should we be concerned about it? Nah, not really. And why is that? Well, because it's really not that dangerous and it's not a risk. People have been stepping in front of slow-moving, manoeuvrable vehicles for hundreds of years before cars came along and started bowling people down and killing pedestrians. And why is that? Well, think about the difference in mass and speed between someone on a bicycle and someone on a car. And although I'm not a small chap, 100 kilos, and I can move reasonably quick at times, most of the time when I'm going around the city, it's between 15 and 25 kilometers an hour. So if I do collide with someone, I might end up with some scars from hitting the road and scraping off a bit of skin, but that's probably going to be about the worst of it. And a pedestrian, if I bowl them over, well, they could probably end up with some bruises, and unless they're about 95 years old, they're going to come away fairly unscathed by it. Compare that to people driving in the city, and you get people driving like maniacs at 50 or 60 kilometers an hour down some pretty narrow streets, and someone steps out in front of a Land Cruiser or a taxi or a delivery truck going that kind of speed, and it's game over. It's just death. Physics it will just tell you that person's going to die. So we've built up over the last 100 years since the introduction of cars into the cities this whole societal ethic, or whatever you want to call it, about jaywalking is just a terrible bad thing and people should obey traffic light signals and all that kind of thing and stay out of the way of drivers. And I'd take the opposite approach and say cities are for pedestrians. The second on the rung would be cyclists, and drivers, you really just shouldn't be in the CBD, or if so, you need to accept that you're at the bottom of the totem pole, because you're going to have at any time tens of thousands of people walking around and only a couple of hundred driving, and frankly those tens of thousands of people should have priority over everybody else. So this footage I've got here, this is from this morning, and this bloke pushing a trolley full of boxes of some sort stepped out in front of me, and was a collision imminent? Yes. What did I do? I braked and I swerved and I went around him, and I thought about saying something to him, and I could have, and I just went, what's the point? Was it the end of the world? And we've been cultured to think that it is the end of the world, and it's not. And we should just relax and get over it, and and just return our cities to being nice places where you can walk around without fear of being clobbered by some idiot in a car.